Am I streaming now? Is it working? Oh, there you go. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna start this stream immediately. Hold on, Okay, I'm gonna start this stream immediately because I really just want to get started with some 3D stuff. But hi. Hope everyone's having a lovely day. I see you, Jacob, in the chat. Hello. And yeah, so, hope everyone's having a lovely day. So basically what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to work on my, this is my experimental client. Her name is Atah, and I am making her from scratch model. As you can see, this is pretty much the model, and it looks finished. It's just more of right now, this model is about to go through finalization on the mesh, and then I'll have to texture it. Now, basically what I'm going to do for today is I want to model her flower accessory, basically. So for this model, you see that she doesn't have her flower, but on her reference sheet, she has a flower. So that's what I'm going to be modeling for her. And after I get the flower modeling going, I will be talking to her tomorrow, I believe. So that way we can kind of go over making sure the mesh is all good to what she likes, and then I'll go through texturing and all that stuff from there. But it's just for flower. And also, hello, Quincel. Nice to meet you. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're having a lovely day. And besides that, though, the next thing, if I do have time, it depends how long I take on the flower, whether I take so much time, but I'll try my best to go as quick as I can. There is another bot that I have that I want to work on. So this is Decoder. This is a fan model, not a commission, a fan model that I wanted to do for somebody. And basically, I originally modeled the intern bot for False ID as a fan model, and I wanted to basically do the same thing as well for one of their peeps naming, what's their name again? Coo-Dee. So that's what this model's for. Just wanted to stop by and say hi, hugs, have a good stream. Thank you, Quincel, I appreciate that. I also forgot to set up on YouTube, at least on my phone, the chat thing, so that way I can be able to see chat while I work, basically. So let me do that. There you go. I'm gonna have this basically be propped up, so hopefully I can pretty much see everything. Alright, I think we're good on that. Alright. So yeah, basically for this model here, it's already modeled. Everything is modeled already. I just have to texture it. And that's the main goal, is to texture it. If I texture it very fast and it's all good, I can get going with rigging. Now, rigging is going to be a little bit complicated for this one. Now, the thing is because for this bot here, when it comes to the legs, right, the way that their legs basically are, it could be one or two ways. One, it could be a particle shader where this part here will look in all directions. Oh, actually, now that I think about it, I don't think a particle shader would be good, because what if a person, or what if let's say, for example, if someone is going to use the model and they were to look up, oh, I think it would break. Okay, then in that case, yeah, no, I don't think I could go with a particle shader. I'll just try the best I can with the legs, because the legs are a bit tricky. I could just have it the way I have it here, where it looks basically this, and it'll just have some emission. As best as I can closely replicate, because I don't know, I really don't know how to properly translate it. For this case, not 100%, but I'll just try my best. But this is just a fan model, nothing super crazy fancy, but it's still nice. But I'll do the best I can, though. And luckily, it has simple shadows here. I mean, it has gradients, so it has like a bit of rim lighting and all that, which I can try to replicate. Maybe not on the raw. Yeah, maybe not on the raw texture. I could just do that with the M-Tune shader and all that. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, that's basically what will be the goals for today, hopefully. But overall, I will say this good news, at least. My commission list is definitely a lot more smaller. Of course, there are 2 other commissions that I can work on but once again, it's not safe for stream purposes, basically. So because those 2 models are not safe to show, I can't work on them on stream. The only ones I can work on is Atah, this bot, and a client named Actually, wait, do they allow me to show their work? Hold on, or do they allow me to show their model? I don't think so. Hold on, is this the person? No, that's not them. Hold on, let me check my form real quick. I think this is the one they don't allow me to share it, I think. No, they do allow it. Okay. Okay then. So that's actually good then. But I'll do that later. I want to at least finish either Coo-Dee's model or the other commissions I have, and then I'll bring them in and get their model going. But they have a big commission, but yeah. Anyways though, let's go ahead, go to Atah, and we're gonna work on the flower. So that's what we're going to do. So, I'm gonna have to hide this model, basically, because I want to start off with modeling basically the petals first. I want to do the petals first, and then after I get the petals going, then we're gonna model these little things here, the little stems or something like that. And then also, do I have my mute? But yeah, my mute button's right here. Okay, just gotta make sure. And then there's like this sort of ring on the flower as well, this sort of like thing here. We're also going to model that too, and then there's also like 3 water droplets. Now, she's not like a water VTuber or anything like that. I even mentioned to the client that while modeling this, I kept thinking that she was sort of like a water goddess, but she's not a water goddess. But yeah, it's still, you know, it's still a pretty design. I like, I actually had a lot of fun modeling it, which I'm really glad. This has been a very fun experimental client, so very, very enjoyable. So I had a blast. But we're gonna go ahead and begin getting the petals going. So that's what we're gonna do. Whoops. So we're gonna start off 1 petal at a time. Don't do that. So let's see here. Let me check their side reference. Now I can't fully rely on the side reference though, because pretty much like majority of the model, I was like able to use a reference, of course, but there was some stuff that they didn't like. For example, they did not like this eye highlight, for example. Some parts of the hair was kind of like, this style was a little messy, so I can't 100% rely on the reference, at least for this client. But, at least, like, it's a good enough reference for me to work on, basically. It's good enough. And at least it's basically being close to finish. It's just the flower, and then after the flower, I have to quickly model their nails, and then tomorrow I will be in a Discord call with them to kind of go over, like, finalization, and then there'll be texturing stage, which should be the quickest, and we go from there. And rigging will take a couple days, but it's going to be fun, I will say. Now, I will also, like, right now I just want to get the general shape going for this flower. I'll add thickness, of course, but I want to start off by just, you know, start simple, block it off, and then go from there. But I hope everyone else is doing good today. You know, I had a fun day, I guess. It's not like, yeah, it's a pretty fun day, though. I found out that while I was shopping with my father and my sister, we found out that Feastables is now in my area, so that's some fun news. Then I found out that I didn't have to file for taxes, because I didn't meet the requirement, which I think that's sort of a good thing. I guess some people say it's a bad thing, but it's a good thing to me because I don't have to worry about it till later. Eventually I will worry about it, but for now I'm good. And let's see, I don't know what else. I kind of had a simple morning, pretty much. I kind of hanged out with Suvi for, you know, a bit. which was also fun. It's nice seeing her play Minecraft and stuff. I really do need to like find some time to play Minecraft, not gonna lie. Cause I kinda miss playing Minecraft. Alright. We'll do that. I also did announce also yesterday, I guess I could talk about this probably, but I did announce yesterday that, regarding my commissions, I am going to be changing my commission plans, basically. So instead of doing editing repair models, I am going to be focusing solely on from scratch models. Now, of course, you know, my commissions are still closed. I'm still trying to catch up with my current clients, basically, you know, making sure everyone's taken care of. But I just wanted to say that in advance, since like, how do I say this? Cause basically I've always been wanting to make from scratch model, you know, like, as in do commissions about it. I do enjoy doing editing commissions, of course, but I want to basically, like, sort of, you know, cause I don't know how to describe this. Started to lay out how my source. That's nice. Okay. Let's see then. So how do I'm trying to like think how will I phrase this. But basically I said I won't do editing commissions anymore, and I know some people may be a bit confused on that. So basically it's just because I want to begin doing from scratch models, basically. You know, because I want to not, like, number one, I want to be a bit more creative when it comes to my 3D modeling. Like, how do I say this? Because when I edit models, it kind of feels repetitive, basically. I don't mind fixing models, of course. It's just that, it's like when I was back with MMD, where MMD was a very simple, like, you know, it was a very simple program. It helped me learn about 3D. But the thing was, is like, I kind of want to do more, basically, with 3D. Like, I don't want to stick with, like, one thing over and over. I wanted to do so much more, and that's the reason why I wanted to go towards from scratch modeling commissions instead of editing commissions. Also, how do I pronounce that name? Synchronotic. Thank you for the subscribe. I don't know how. I get so confused because it's not like, because Twitch has it where it's a sub where you pay, but being a subscriber on YouTube is free. It confuses me. Being a subscriber, I usually just say follow because like they're kind of the same thing. But thanks for the follow. But yeah. I just kind of just want to do more, basically, with 3D. And I also want to get to a point as well where, because here's the thing I will tell you. I have a little bit of an anxiety when it comes to, like, modeling. Like, you see me right now, I'm modeling in front of you guys, and I do have a bit of anxiety. Like, I'm trying to fight it right now, but I have a bit of an anxiety when it comes to modeling in front of everyone, or doing more with modeling. Because sometimes I feel like, sometimes I get judged for how I model stuff. Like, some people may say, oh, kinda, why are you modeling that like this? You should try this other method, or do this, do this, do this. And all I just want to do is just model the way I want to, basically. So I want to basically fight that anxiety, and I want to do, like, more, like, 3D modeling streams, and then do more from scratch models. I know some people may... I know there were some peeps that kind of got a little bit upset when I said that I didn't want to do the editing commissions anymore. Of course, I still want to do the air kit and vibe lip tracker commissions. That's not leaving. I still want to do that, as it's, cause, like, I don't know, it's just more, you know, like, I don't know how to describe it. If it looks like a cat, it's a cat. Huh? But yeah, so, how do I... Yeah, because I had a really hard time when I was actually trying to announce the news that I didn't want to do editing commissions anymore. Because I know a lot of peeps, like, it's hard, it's really hard because it's like, I don't know how to describe it properly. I'm bad at describing stuff. But it's just, yeah, I really don't know how to describe this. How do I describe when, okay, let me start all over. I think I'm confusing myself a lot. So, let me start from the beginning. I started closing my commissions, because I started getting a bit overwhelmed with the amount of requests, and also I was having big, debut projects that were sort of colliding with each other, so I wanted to close commissions to take care of the current ones. Then, I said that I wanted to, after I finish my current batch, I want to take a 2-month break from commissions and hopefully work more on 3D stuff. 3D stuff, you know, for portfolio, me updating my model, and also I want to actually do more speed modeling videos, because I know there were some people who were asking if I could do that, which I can, you know, I'd love to do that. That would be really cool. And the thing also, I said I wanted to focus on from scratch model commissions because I wanted to have more fun with, please do that. Well, I can recommend Shanzo speed modeling for now, but I'm not sure. Once again, they're gonna be speed modeling. They're not gonna be anything like, I'm not gonna do anything like model conversion speed videos, as that's kind of like, I don't know, it's just kind of like, to me it's sort of like, I don't know, basically. I know I had a video where I was doing a live 2D, it was supposed to be posted, but I never got to post it, as I never got time to video edit it, but there was supposed to be a video posted of me speed rigging my live 2D model's head. And I assumed the reason why people were asking about speed modeling was because, the reason people wanted the speed modeling is probably because, you know how, like, instead of following a tutorial, right? You want to see more of a specific example, basically, right? So you want to see a more specific example of a certain modeling, and rather than making like a specific tutorial for every single part, a speed model could be good to sort of get a general idea of what somebody's doing, or it could be just fun to watch. Like, for example, Fizzy Flow actually made a speed modeling of my reference sheet, because I commissioned her for a reference sheet. She made a speed video of that, and that, I'm gonna be honest, when I watched it, it actually does bring some inspiration. So I can understand why speed videos, are, you know, very likable and what people want, because it brings you inspiration. And if you want to see like a very specific example, or you really want to see exactly how a person does something, you can slow down the speed video if you wish, and you could take a closer look and see, oh, okay, because rather than like skimming through like an hour video or even a 3-hour video on a certain part, basically, you can just watch a speed video, see which part you want to look at, and then boom. Yeah, processing. Yeah, so I can see why people want me to do that more. And I just hope that when I do, I wish Subdivision would have like some sort of thing that allows, I don't know, how did I describe it? Some sort of way for me to like keep, I don't know. It still looks pointy. I just wanted to make it smoother. Or maybe I could do this. But yeah, and that's the reason why, what? I did that for Flycat on YouTube. I followed them. Ah, interesting. But yeah, I do want to do more speed modeling and such. I did not record Atah though. I did not record me modeling Atah, because here's the thing about Atah's commission. It was actually experimental for a reason. Meaning, so basically, because my original experimental client didn't went so well, and I had to drop that project, and I was looking for a new experimental client. So the thing was, is that I was trying to look for a VTuber who was interested in getting, like, basically a model. Of course, it's, you know, I am being paid to do this model, of course. But, I wanted to, like, kind of figure out whose reference sheet can I use in order to make a VTuber a model. And then I remembered that, Atah have said many times she always wanted to commission me, and all that, basically. I remember her tweets. I saw a couple times she said she always wanted to commission me for From Scratch Model. And originally, because, you know, certain reasons, she wanted to actually commission me originally to have it where her void model could be re-enhanced by me. However, the thing was, is that with how her original, the model, it wasn't a void model, actually. It was like a different model, but she wanted me to enhance it. But the thing was, is that the editing was a bit complicated to where I kind of suggested it should be made entirely from scratch, and that's what I basically did. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna give this a try. I'm going to model her model from scratch. So this was at the middle of the night, by the way. In the middle of the night, I was basically modeling her base model and just kind of seeing if she likes it. And I showed her, I took a picture, and she actually liked it. She says, yes, this is actually the base model that she wanted. Of course, there were some edits that she wanted, which I followed accordingly. And yeah, that's pretty much how it happened. Her model was sort of like a test, basically. I did not bother recording anything, so that's why there's not going to be a speed modeling for Atah's model, because I didn't do that. Now, I'm still wondering if there's like some sort of... Because I know, you know, for example, if anybody have ever used Ibis Paint before, there's like this thing where, if you're like drawing, right? You're drawing. And after you're finished, like, drawing or something like that, there's, like, an option where you can actually sort of do, like, a time-lapse, basically. Like, it'll record all your history and then make it into a time-lapse. I wonder if I could do that on Blender. Like, there could be an add-on, so instead of me always opening up OBS, it could just be, like, I don't know, something. That'd be cool if there was one, but I don't think there is. I'm gonna probably say there probably is. Blender texturing is very laggy. Well, for me, Blender texturing never lags on me, but it's limiting. So I honestly would recommend just using, yeah, okay, the blurring, yes, it's laggy. I honestly would just recommend use Clip Studio if you want to texture your 3D model, or use GIMP, and then if you really want to have it where you texture on your character real time with a different program, you could use like GIMP and then a different like third-party program. I don't know what the plugin is. I have not bothered to try it. But I gotta find the add-on, and whenever I can, I want to test it, but yeah. And then, oh yeah, Paint Tool site. And yeah, Clip Studio Paint. Yeah, I personally use GIMP, but I kind of want to swap over to Krita soon. Because the thing is, like, my plan is that after I finish my commission batch, basically, I want to get to a point where I actually at least take some time learning how to draw bodies, basically. I want to learn a bit of anatomy, so that way I don't have a mushed idea on how anatomy is, and that I actually have a more firm idea on how it is. Of course, I'll still improve and all that, but I still want to, you know, get better at drawing, basically. And I'm actually going to use my drawing tablet. And no, I do not have an iPad. That's my sister who has an iPad, but I have a drawing tablet. So I gotta learn how to use my drawing tablet. So that's what I want to do. Pinterest boards for the win. Yeah, I already have a Pinterest account. I've already saved, like, a couple stuff. Like, for example, I saved a couple pictures of me, hold on. Rewind. I already saved a couple pictures, which is supposed to be about hand poses, and I wanted to practice a bit of hand posing. There was also some good anatomy pictures I saw as well, which I would really want to do that. So yeah, so basically it's sort of like tracing. So you know how, like, there's this animation challenge. There are many animation challenges. Art challenges. Art challenges. Don't worry, bro, corruption. I'm also late as well. I was supposed to be here at 5:30, but I came at 6, because I was eating cheese sticks, and then I just got back home, and then I was kind of like, I was kind of like, I don't know, breathing. So yeah, but don't worry, you're good, bro. Corruption. We're making a flower. So yeah. So yeah, it's not gonna be, like I said, it's not gonna be 1-to-1 because, like I said, honestly, it's kind of like, I don't know how to describe the posing of this flower, but it reminds me of this one particular part on my reference sheet. Wait, actually, hold on. Let me pull up my reference sheet real quickly. What was the part again that looked like it was front facing? What was it? No? Yeah, I honestly forgot what it was. I think it was the eyes. No, it wasn't the eyes. It was some... honestly, maybe it wasn't my reference sheet. Maybe it was something else. But on my reference sheet, though, to kind of give you guys an idea, on the halo, my halo is basically just a copy and paste through all the profile angles. But that makes sense, because my halo is just a round donut, basically. But pretty much, wait, I'm taking a break from modeling. I got here so I can't help you. What? What do you mean? What? I don't need help with modeling. I already know how to use Blender. I used Blender for 6 years! Never quit. Okay, anyways. But yeah, I don't need any help 3D-wise or anything like that. In fact, this model here, you see this model right here? I made this model, and I already made this model here. Hands! Stop! Remembering, not modeling. What? Oh, wait, what? Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about drawing? Because I would rather learn drawing on my own time. And even then, I have a friend, I have a bestie who is also pretty expert at drawing, I guess. I don't know, you're fine. You're fine. Okay. Anyways, let's continue. So the next thing are these little fricks here. Now, I honestly cannot tell, but I'm going to assume, based on one of my clients, we're gonna use a Bezier curve for this one. Now, on one of my clients, I remembered, and I wish I reminded my... Actually, I wish I still have that, one outfit, but there was this outfit I made for my client, which they don't have anymore, because they pretty much swap modelers, and, I mean, I still, like, take care of their VRM model and such, but they basically have a new modeler, and they have different outfits now. But the thing is that they had this beautiful freaking bathing suit. It was beautiful. I was shocked at it. Like, it had beautiful, like, flowiness. The topology was just gorgeous and everything. Just everything about this outfit was just so gorgeous. And pretty much though, they had this flower. I made this flower for them, and I did a freaking good job. It was my first time modeling that flower. It was beautiful. If only I had the model. I lost that model back in 2021. Or wait, 2021 or late 2021 or 2022? I think it was 2021. Because I have to remember that I had commissions in 2021. I forget dates so much. I forget them so often, which is annoying. It's like time doesn't exist anymore for me, basically. Like, why does time exist? I don't know. Probably just something. But yeah. And pretty much, I kind of did the hard way on that flower, though. I actually, like, hand-modeled the stems. But this time I want to use curves, because it's just more convenient to use curves, basically. It's just more convenient. Okay, so I'm gonna hide this. Let me just actually, what I want to do is basically just sort of like copy the amount of stems here, then correct the positioning, and then after that, what I want to do is, then set up like some spheres, just to get the little stem parts up here, put some spheres on top of them, and then after we do that, and we position it on the 3D model's head, the next thing we'll do is, I'm going to assume it, but I'll still talk with my client, because I may get this wrong. I'm gonna try making the little circle, the little beads thing here, and then of course the water thing. I'll try that. Also, have a lovely day, or night, Elric girl. I do appreciate you watching, but have a good one. Alright. Anyways, so pretty much, but yeah, and we'll do that, and then of course the nails, I'll make sure to get her nails up and going, pretty much. This will be simple for Atah, and then we can get to the bot. El Vato. But yeah, I do hope, when I do finish both Atah and the little robot model, I hope that the peeps are going to enjoy it. How do I, what, okay, my brain just completely stopped when I was just saying that sentence. I was like, wait, what was I saying again? Ay, ay. I hate when that happens sometimes, where I speak, and then it's like, wait, how do I phrase this again? I don't know. I just forget. Alright. And then we can have, I think, 2 more here, basically. We'll have 2 more. I hope this may be it. Something like this. That's what it looks like to me. Or at least how I'm translating it. Maybe I'll add like another one just to make it not as awkward, basically, because it looks awkward without it. Again, I was informed not to follow the reference 100%. More like a 90% on the reference sheet, basically. Oh, very spiny. Now we just have to pull up the plain mesh here. And then we can start with positioning it in 3D. Yeah, so we'll have that set to 0. And we'll move this so it's inside this core, and then we'll edit each of the stems. And after that, go from there. Yeah, I can't. That. So I'm gonna have to move these around. This at least is still good practice, though, for me, this model, as it just helps me out with confidence, basically. I don't know. Okay, so I want to, after I do get Atah finish and all my other commissions and update my model and all that, and of course a fan model as well, I want to actually finish my SpongeBob model. That's what I want to do. I've always wanted to finish my SpongeBob model. I was actually almost done with the mesh. I just have to model the hands and the feet, and then after that I texture it. And then I want to texture it just like the old the 1999 SpongeBob colors. I want to color it like that, and then after that, I want to actually remodel Miku, because I had a 90s style Miku going, but I don't know. I just been kind of thinking the Miku I made just looks a bit weird, basically. Like, don't get me wrong, I like modeling 90s style models. However, I think that the way I was modeling Miku, I feel like it's just, I don't know, I want to try a different style, basically. One that's a little bit more enchanting. Something to, like, allow me to practice smooth shading. Because there's something called cell shading, and then there's something called smooth shading. And the big majority of VTubers are smooth shaded more than cell shaded. I mean, there's a lot of cell shade, but there's more smooth shading, and I want to eventually, if I want to do my from scratch model commission more properly, I have to practice with smooth shaded textures, basically, and that's what I want to eventually do. So yeah, that's, I'll see what I can do if I can remodel Miku, and after that, I'll go from there, and see what other models that I can make and all that. But I definitely want to make as many models as possible, but not, of course, overstress the living heck out of myself. I don't want to do that. I do not want to stress myself out at all. But I just want to do it in a way like I can enjoy myself. Yeah, it'll be stressful, but I want to basically enjoy what I do with 3D and such. Alright, so we got the little stems here. And now the next thing I want to do is add a curve here. I'm going to then add some spheres, basically. So let's go do that. We're going to set this by 8 by 8. And we're going to finalize the flower here. Let me check Twitter real quickly, though. Yeah. Okay. Let's work on that. Alright. Bring on the flower. They're going to be real small. And then, bloop. Right there. Bloop. Hello, little flower. There you go. That's one. And yes, UV mapping this may be a pain, but you know what? I don't care. I will still do it. And that's the thing about 3D, by the way. With 3D, a lot of times, when you get started with 3D, right? When you get started with 3D for the first time or something, I don't know. It depends. But basically, there's going to be a lot of times where peeps may tell you, oh, you need to have this specific topology to have the best quality, or you need to have the specific UV map like this and all that. No, you do not need a specific topology or specific UV map. You just gotta make it work, basically. That's the thing about 3D. And honestly, when I was learning 3D more and more, I have been told many times that I need like a specific topology or a specific UV map to be more professional and all that, but you don't. You just gotta make it work. I mean, of course, don't have anything too outrageous or anything like that, but pretty much all you just need is just in your, basically, what you prefer, basically, like, you know, with art styles, like, we all have our different art styles, basically. Yeah, with 3D, topology is like a type of art, basically. There's a type of art within 3D, and then UV map. I've seen UV maps that look so ugly, quote unquote. However, it actually makes them all look very beautiful, actually. And they can look all stretchy and weird. My friend actually has, whenever I look at my friend's UV maps, an average 3D user would say it's the most ugliest UV map they've ever seen, but it actually works really well and making them all look very beautiful, basically. You just gotta make it work, basically. That's it. If the mall looks good, that's all that matters. Because not everyone, well, it depends. If you're gonna do it for 3D printing, like, once again, it just depends on your usage. If you really need something specific, sure, understandable. But for the most part, it's like, as long as it works, as long as it looks pretty, you're good. You're good. You don't need a Guilty Gear topology. You don't need the realistic human topology unless you really want that. You don't need a specific topology. You just gotta make it work. But it's still good to at least look up topology styles, though. Because I will admit, if you're trying to go for a realistic style, there may be some topology that may work best for what you're trying to achieve. Or if you're trying to achieve, like, anime, for example. For my face model, my face structure was inspired by Guilty Gear. And the reason, like, not 100%, but the reason why, like, especially the mouth area with the whole big gap thing, the reason why I use that, for example, is because, the main reason is because, when it comes to me moving my mouth, the outlines don't clip as much. So I don't really need to have an outline mask. Now, if I do need one, sure, that's perfectly fine. But I don't really need an outline mask with how my face is structured. And even with Atah as well. Atah's face, I can show you. I'll show you the topology. So for Atah, originally, I will say, I was trying to go for that Guilty Gear topology for her. However, for her face structure, because she has a very big lips and a big... I don't mean to sound rude. But she has a big nose and big lips. and because of that, it would not really do good on the Guilty Gear quote-unquote topology. So it needed a more smoother topology, but this is how her topology looks like to get the face working. And some people may be like, kinda, that's a very crazy topology there. Well, it works on me, I can rig it easily, that's perfectly fine. This works on me, and yeah, and it's pretty much just for VTubing, nothing else. So this is good. This is not outrageous. And honestly, I'm actually pretty proud of the lips though, because I never modeled lips like that, and I'm actually proud for a first attempt. So that's good. Also Shin MMD, I haven't seen your comment, I'm sorry. I usually first UV map one sphere and then duplicate it, and the UV map, UV is overlay. Yeah, you could do that. You could pre-UV map as well. Sometimes I do that depending on the mesh. Sometimes, but sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't. It looks good and works. Exactly. It looks good at the end because despite this topology, if you look at the freaking texture, boom, it actually like looks closer to the reference image basically. Of course, like I said, it's still, hold on a second. Yeah, like it looks close to the reference image as best as I can. Of course, once again, I could not follow it one-to-one because the client wanted some certain edits there were certain edits, of course, I had to keep in mind about, so that's why it's not a one-to-one. But it works. It looks pretty. You see that? It's good. And I hope to, you know, after her, I want to have I want to eventually have more VTuber babies, basically. I want to have more VTuber models, basically. Eventually. It'll take time. Blender does not have limitations. It's VRM who has limitations, by the way. Blender, you could do whatever the heck you want. In fact, it could be even powerful than Maya. You just... don't freaking judge. You don't know me. Anyways. Alright then. So, let me just go ahead and reset that. And let me go ahead, hide all this again, and let me go ahead and just freaking duplicate. So, let me go ahead and do that. Yes, Jacob, Blender is amazing. It definitely is. Like, as long as you have the imagination, the planning, and all that, and you practice, you could do whatever you want in Blender. The only limitation is basically your imagination, basically. That's what many people say. Like, for example, like, about the whole Unity, like, the VTuber from scratch program debate, pretty much, Unity is a powerful program. What limits you is basically just how much you know about Unity and what are your plans when it comes to, you know, doing stuff in Unity. Same with VNyan, too. VNyan, some people may see it as a limiting program, but that's because you have to know about how to use the nodes, how to play with it, and you have to have the imagination to do so, basically. So yeah, really just depend on the peep, basically. But you can do so much. Same with other programs, like, I've seen people who use, like, let's say Microsoft Paint, and they do insane stuff with it. You can take a program with very limited tools and do insane stuff with it, or a program with too many tools and do amazing stuff with it, you know? Programs do be powerful. And also, the human mind is also powerful, too. Everything can be powerful. Yeah, exactly. Alright. Don't do that. But yeah, pretty much, I will actually mention, though, I still have a bit of knowledge with Source still. Like, I still know how to convert a model to Source Filmmaker, but because I had some people who went on my old tutorial, and I had some people who were asking me questions, basically, about how to use Source Filmmaker and all that, but I'm gonna say the truth right now. I actually don't know how to use Source Filmmaker. Besides me converting models, I really don't know how to use the program, nor do I actually want to. Because, like, I mean, it's fun to learn Source Filmmaker, but it's more of, I don't feel a need for me to learn it 100%. It's so nice to help people learn it, but I don't see a personal need for it in my personal program because I don't really do realistic models or realistic shading as much. And even if I want to do realistic shading, I just use Blender basically. So, source filmmaker wise, I don't plan on continuing learning the program. I guess maybe in the future for fun, but really for productive stuff, no. I don't plan on using source filmmaker or anything like that. But you know, it's still fun to play like any of the games that are made with source filmmaker, like TF2, Left 4 Dead 2. I actually do have Left 4 Dead 2, but I only play it when I'm with friends. Because if you play it alone, it's kind of boring. I guess it depends, because some people play it by themselves and it's pretty fun. But for me, I prefer playing it with friends, basically. Yeah. Okay, and also flower! Look at the flower! So cute. I do have to... Okay, I'm gonna just move this with the object, though, because I feel like Atah may ask if I can change some stuff. And I don't want to ruin the Beezer curve, basically. I really do not want to do that. Actually, can you... Hold on. Let's see. Origin... Cursor to selected. That is not even selected at all. Hold on. Let's see. Cursor... to selected, or cursor to active, no? Cursor to selection to active? Huh. I really need to get that one add-on thing that allows me to do that weird things. But yeah, let's see. Let me just... Yeah, this is the thing I kind of dislike about the object mode thing. It's just that I have the origin down here, and I did not put the origin up here, basically. So, whoops. That's fine. It's perfectly fine. At least the flower is there, which is cute. Oh, wait. The flower is actually supposed to be on the left side, or left side. Right side. Move it to the right. But at least I got it, though. It's cute. It's cute, and I can always adjust it later. Like, I just gotta make sure the stems work good. Like, the stems is what she wants. And once she approves the stems, then yes. Then I can have a more easier time editing this. But yeah, I had to do that, basically. Or move this a little more forward. And maybe more down. That more down. Yeah. So cute! So precious flower. That's adorable. I love it. I really love it. Cute. Alright. Put your dress on. There you go. See, look at that. Woo! And now the thing I have to do is... Which apparently was not made on the side profile for some reason. But... there are beads underneath it. Like, have you ever seen the little wedding, yeah, I don't know why it didn't work on me, but either way, have you ever seen, like, those wedding flowers, like, you put it on your hair and they have that little veil thing and all that, and the beads? Yeah, that's basically what this kinda is. Kinda. Not a wedding, not for a wedding, it's just, you know, aesthetic. Aesthetic. It's literally what it is. Yeah, so we're going to basically, it's just basically a ring of beads, basically. So I guess it's just kind of up to me to sort of translate, because it's kind of hard to see on the, there's no side profile reference, and it's only on the front. And I can't really fully rely on it as it looks a little smudged, but that's fine. That's fine. I just make it work. So we'll start off with here. This may be a little tricky to do. Or, actually not tricky, it's just a little annoying, but I'll make it work. So I think I'll hide it and then just adjust. Don't do that. I actually need the mall's head there, because I need to make sure I do this right. So, alright, so, let's start off here. And by the way, I know that there is a method to having it so the beads can be duplicated across a Beezer curve. I'm aware of that technique. I just choose not to use it. Because one, I didn't bother to learn it, and two, I just kind of like doing this as it just allows me more... Just allows me to be a bit more specific. Because sometimes with... depending on the client, they may ask for a lot of revisions, so this allows me to do, like, more specific revisions, basically, with it. Which is nice, and I like it. So then I just do this out of preference, basically. And yeah, this, by the way, this entire thing here, yes, I did hand position all of these beads, and that is perfectly fine. It took time, but I made it work. And I like it. I just like it. If you judge me, I don't know, talk to Mr. Fluffy Canary? Actually, Mr. Fluffy Canary, yes, you right there. You, Mr. Fluffy Canary, you really need a remodel. You haven't been... This freaking bird right here hasn't been remodeled since 2019. How long was 2019? 2020, 2021, 2022. 4 years! You're old, Mr. Fluffy Canary! You need a makeover. Pronto. And you're just a PNG, by the way. I have the mesh. I just didn't bother to convert it so it actually moves. I'm getting fizzy to draw a reference of Mr. Fluffy Canary. It'll be a simple one. All I just need is a front and a side one. We'll see. We'll see. I might ask. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe in the summer. Not now. I'm not ready to maul Mr. Fluffy Canary quite yet. But maybe in the summer, maybe. You might get a makeover. Because you really need a makeover, you freaking old bird! Anyways, enough of me insulting my bird. Let's just continue. Alright. This went a little too far. It's supposed to be, going inwards here. Something like that. But yeah, either way, I still got a lot of plans I want to do with 3D modeling stuff, and that's the thing. I have so many plans for 3D, but I can't really do all my plans, basically. Like, even if I plan them accordingly, sometimes I can't really do all of them. Sometimes I have to give up on some of the projects I have. And that's okay. That is perfectly okay. And right now I'm just readjusting the beads as they just look really slouchy right now and I hate it. And we'll fix it. Yeah, but I just want them to be there. Bead there. Bead. Ah, funny. Gotta love the dopamine when you finish. Yep. Not gonna lie. I was finishing more on my to-do list, basically, on what I had to, like, finish, for this month. And I will say, after I finished some stuff, I definitely did feel a dopamine rush. I definitely did. Cause I was finishing, working on Termy's, conversions. And oh boy, by the way, I had to do a lot to get Termy's, okay, because Termorexia commissioned me for Violet Tracker Blend Shapes, and I did that. And then, basically, you know, it was all approved, blah, 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 all that crazy stuff happened. And basically, I had to convert oh, I almost dropped my mouse. Okay, hold on. Hold on a second. I'm gonna count how many models did I convert for her. Hold up. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 different... Okay, so I had to convert 7 different models for Termorexia. There was one model being her main, and the other 6 are her outfits, basically. And I had to not only, you know, make the FBX file, then I had to make the VRM file for all of them. So I had to basically register the humanoid and the legacy normals on each and every one of them, and also remove the jawbone. And then I also had to manually register each and every one of the materials, because all the materials had their own separate folders, basically. And after that, then I had to reconvert it. Then luckily I had an add-on that allows me to kind of copy settings basically from the old original VRM models I made to the new ones basically. And then I had to do some editing there. Then I had to, after I did that, by the way, after I converted those VRM models, I had to take it to another Unity project where I had to transfer my Vtuber tracker registration blend shapes to the models. And then I found out there was a blend shape that was broken. So instead of me having to go back to Blender, I just had to edit the VRM blend shape clips to fix that. And then after I did that, then I had to re-import to a different Unity project file. So therefore, I finished the VRM file, but then I had to get the VSF avatar file because she has some animations and also a bit of some custom shaders there. And then after I did that, then afterwards, I copied all the animation stuff, transferred all the material, blah, 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 and then boom, 7 models I converted for VRM, VSF Avatar, and I did some other stuff and all that. And I also had to transfer all the Vtuber tracker blend shapes to each and every one of the models, so yeah, that's basically what I did, and I felt so happy when I finished that. And yeah, that, by the way, I've dealt more complicated commissions. That was actually pretty simple. It was time-consuming, but simple. So, yeah. Yeah, that's what I did this morning and last night, basically. Actually, all day yesterday, and then all morning, and I'm really happy. And I hope Termy really loves the model update, so, she told me just to do only 2 models for the Vtuber tracker, but I did all of them instead, because she's been a very, very nice client. I wanted to do something, I just wanted to do something extra nice for her, basically, so that's what I did. So, yeah. I want to make sure my clients, even if they say, oh, I don't have to do any extras. No, I'm going to do extras for my client because I love them too much. I care. So if a client ever needs something from me, I will make sure it's taken care of. Like, same with Atah. Atah, I want to make sure she is taken care of. So I hope to get her model done, but also I'm actually making her a second outfit. Now, I'm actually not allowed to tell y'all the outfit, but it gonna be an outfit, which, I don't know how I'm going to approach it, because she did said she wanted it to be like a booth outfit, but I said that I could have modeled it from scratch. I don't know, we'll have to see. I don't mind putting the booth outfit on her model, but we'll see. We'll see. I'll have to talk to her, maybe, tomorrow I'll discuss with her on that, and see which may be best. But I don't mind it, though. I just wanted to make sure if she wants it made from scratch, sure, but, it is okay if she wants the booth outfit, so yeah. There are also sometimes there are, because I know that there were, some booth outfits I saw, they were actually, like, pretty nice at, like, wear and all that. I usually prefer making it from scratch, like, made by myself, just for fun. And actually, speaking of which, though, it depends, because my birthday is coming up in 2 months. What the heck? What? Fizzy? Fizzy, what you called him? Fizzy! Hold on. Hold on. Hold on a second. I am live. If you wanna join. Okay, just this message I got, apparently Fizzy's, you know Fizzy. Okay, Fizzy is my artist. She is my 2D artist. She has helped me with my character design stuff. And you wanna know what she messaged me? Okay, as of recently, her bird had babies, basically. So now there's babies in her house, baby birds. And she called them ugly. She called them ugly, but not in like a rude way, just like a jokeful way. And I see the babies and I'm like, that's so cute. There's 4 of them? I can't count, but congratulations, Fizzy, on her birds having babies. Aww. That is adorable. I am proud. Which one of you fricks went to my Twitch? Hold on. Hold on, I'm gonna find out who's guilty. Jacob, is that you doing that? Jacob, if that's you, I swear to frick. I knew it! I knew it was you, Jacob. I called it, cause you know, you did this last stream where you whacked me. I have alerted though. Oh, Well, you did, and guess what? I'm coming to your window. Yeah. But yes, by the way, if you want to beat me up on this YouTube stream, just go to my Twitch page and then find my channel redeems and then just trigger them. That way, that's a little bit of a hacks, basically. It's a hacks where you could just redeem on Twitch, but now, sadly, you cannot make more points when I'm streaming on YouTube. However, why would you do that? Jacob! You have me on the track! Ah! Okay. Okay then, I see how it is. You heck. I see how it is. You did this. You did this on purpose. While speaking. That was so rude. Anyway, you can go on my Twitch, and if you watch my streams and you save up points, you can have those points so it can be triggered on the YouTube stream. But seriously, why did you hit me with a truck? Why? Anyways, enough of that. I will go ahead and continue, and there is nothing you could do about it. Anyways. But yeah, that's a fun thing, and I will say I used to own baby birds, ah! I see what you're doing there. I see what you're doing. And I have my fist ready to yeet you. To yeet. Yeet. Okay? No, I'm not gonna. I only stream once a week on Twitch, and I stream on YouTube once a week. I ain't streaming more on Twitch, and there's nothing you could do about it. Now, maybe if I were doing more from scratch mall stuff, and I was doing, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Basically, maybe in the future I might end up streaming more on Twitch and YouTube. But for now, yeah, not doing it. Yeet me, do it. You know what? Imaginary yeet because I can't physically yeet you IRL because I don't know you. Yeet! There you go, that's me yeeting. Just hand slap. Ah! Also, by the way, I really do like this leap motion mount, though. The leap motion mount, like, okay, it's not super best with high position because this is the old leap motion, but it is pretty good, though. Because there are times I don't want to wear my mocap suit, either because of temperature or something like that. And also, like I said, I was pretty late on the stream because I wanted to eat, and I did not have time to put my mocap suit on. So, yeah. That's definitely pretty nice, to have the leap motion being set up. And I also like how Vignon supports it as well, meaning I can be able to have my hand tracking. And I can't wait for the other updates that Vignon will do as well. I can't wait. Wee, beep, 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 beep. But yeah, Vignon is definitely my main program, and there's nothing you can do to stop it, or else. But yeah. I recommend if you ever want to do some more VTubing stuff, but in a more insane level, please join the Vignon squad. Get some Vignon and all that. I'm still also looking at the baby's picture. Yeah, I still think that's 4 babies. I will ask her later. Or if she ever pops up on the stream, I will say, "Hey Fizzy, how many baby birds do you have now? I can't get Springbones to work." Well, did you know that there's an update? Wait, hold on. Which Springbones are you talking about? I'm confused. I'm confused as much as you are. Okay, I'm going to assume this may be it, though, because I spent a little too much time. I'll ask her in the call how it's supposed to look like. VRM Springbones. Oh, have you looked up Deets, Virtual Deets tutorial? Allow me to send you. I don't have a tutorial on Springbones because Virtual Deep made a perfect tutorial already, and I don't really need to do that. Like, honestly, I really do not need to, because he just explained it so perfect, I don't even have to do anything. I just sit back and just watch it. So watch that tutorial if you can. Highly recommend. Anyways, with that being said, now the teardrops, which I already have a model, so this is a copy model I have, basically, and I'm just gonna reuse this multiple times just to get things working, basically. So, yeah. And there's 3 under this pedal? Yeah, kinda. Okay. There's 2 here, and then there's 1 that's sort of in between. Okay, I'll be back in 6 minutes. Okay, you have fun. Okay, and then we just put this closer. Yeah. And then we just sort of basically duplicate it though, and I will put some scaling. I'll probably keep them straight up. I don't know if Atah wants them straight up or angled. I don't know. But I'll just have them scaled downward though, like this. Like that. Yeah. And then I'm gonna have it so they're like underneath the beads, basically. Kind of like how I have it on her ankle bracelet. Like that, sort of. That's what I wanted to do. Like that. Yeah, there you go, see? Flower! Flower! Kilakuma! Oh my god, hello! I hope you're having a lovely day, Kilakuma. Hello! Working while I listen. Oh, that's very nice. I hope that you do enjoy this stream as best as you can. We just made flour. Yes, and then beads. So that's really nice. Alright. Now that we got that going, beads. Now the next thing, or actually the last thing for this model, and then we'll move on to the robot model, is nails. I have to model nails. I'll make them pretty quick. Now, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. For some reason, despite me knowing a lot about 3D, I cannot properly model nails like how... Okay, I don't know how to explain this. So, actually, no. I know how to model nails, but hear me out. So, let's say, for example, you take, like, a finger model. Like, I don't know a good model... Roy does not have the finger model I'm talking about. But there's this type of finger model where if you were to remove the nail, there's sort of like an indent. There were boost models that would have this. And for some freaking reason, I don't know how, I don't know why, but whenever I try modeling that little indent, it just looks ugly. But even then though, for the most part, I usually don't have to model it. It's only if I have like a model that needs like, let's say... the fingers are more soft shaded, where they need like a lot of gradients, then yeah, maybe that sort of case would be recommended, but I'm gonna go the simple route, and I'm just gonna use a plain mesh, basically. You know, don't overcomplicate, keep this model simple, and also this model isn't even soft shaded, only on the hair. The hair and the dress are soft shaded, basically. Everything else is just plain colors, basically. And that's what the client wants, so... And even the nails are also going to be plain colors as well. I also need to quickly... Let me just kind of fix this up. Wait, hold on, actually. Wait, yeah, no, this is using the update fingers, because it's my Miku mod. It's my 90s Miku mod that had the sort of fricked up fingers, where... Well, I think I fixed that topology thing during one of my tutorials. But yeah, there was that. There was that, basically. But yeah, so pretty much I'm gonna do this like manually, where I kind of have it like I can look at my nail for reference, basically, like my IRL nail, as it kind of, you know, is good for reference. But yeah, sort of like the top part would be like very round, and like, so top part will be like round like this. And then the top part here would also be round. It's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like this shape, I guess, if that makes sense. But yeah. Something like that. I am trying my very best. Oh, that's right. I have a medium point, or I need medium point, basically. Now, I don't know if she wanted long nails. She told me no, she does not want long nails. I'm gonna assume probably like normal lengths. Just making sure. Hers are sort of normal lengths, but I want to make sure it's not too long or too short. Because I know like I said many times, I can't fully rely on this reference sheet. Because there are some Okay, why is that nail all the way over there? What did I do? Okay. Oh, why? How? What? Okay, then. That was weird. I was about to freak out for a moment and freaking yeet this mall, but no, we're good. Let me just make a duplicate of this, though, for the toes, basically. Yes, I'm gonna have to say that. We're gonna have to make her toenails, basically. And also, yes, for this model, because of the, I don't know how to describe it, but basically, due to, basically, the theme of this model. Oh, wait, I gotta keep remembering that. Yeah, the toes are actually going to be individually. They're gonna have bones, actually. Now, let me tell you something. Actually, let me tell you something. Did you know that there's a program that can fake leg tracking and foot tracking? So if you are a Roku mocap suit user like me, you know we have our toe tracking, well, not like individual toes, but like we have toe bend tracking, and we can basically track our legs. But what if you're a VTuber and you want to track your legs, but you also don't want to wear a mocap suit, you can't afford a mocap suit? What's a better way of that? Well, XR Animator has released an update where you can actually have leg tracking, even when you're sitting down. I don't know how they do it. I'm going to assume it's something like Wakaru, where you can fake hand tracking with the mouse and the keyboard, but once again, that's like overcomplicated, and we now have MediaPipe for that. But same thing with XR Animator, you can either have full body tracking with MediaPipe, or you could fake it if you're just sitting down, which honestly, I like that, because, you know, like I said, most streams I just sit down, and it would be nice to have some leg tracking depending on the scenery. Like, let's say, for example, I were to be in like a, like, I make like, you know, like those typical hot tub streams, except it's not a hot tub. I'm literally like I want my character on the beach and all that, and I'm just sitting there with the drink or something, and I'm like, this is nice, and I want like, I don't know, some sort of like leg tracking with mouse, then yeah, you could do something like that. I'm not doing that, but you get what I mean, basically. If you're interested, you can check it out. It's free to download. XR Animator. It's another webcam solution. There, actually, by the way, in case you're wondering about webcam solution programs, you got XR Animator, you got webcam motion capture, you got Warudo, you got, well, Virtue died, yeah, that's all the only ones I know. Vignon's gonna get MediaPipe tracking, by the way, in case you're wondering. You wanna know when it'll pop up? Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully by April-ish. April, May. Hopefully the MediaPipe or OpenSeaface update will arrive. I don't know yet. But for Vignon, the next update is actually going to be prop tracking, by the way. That's actually a cool thing, by the way. It's a cool thing, because raise your hand if you want to take your Vive tracker and turn it into like either a game, like, you know, turn it into a tracking chair, or you can have something like a tracking camera. Well, if you have a Vive tracker, you could technically use Slime VR if you really want to, but keep in mind, Slime VR will not do position tracking, which I'll say, Slime VR would be very good for tracking chairs, if you only want to rotate it. If you want to move it, you're better off with a Vive tracker or Tundra. Tundra relies on the base stations, right? I don't remember. But, yeah, that's the good stuff, and I can't wait. I can't wait to beta test it, though. I'm wondering if I could use my old Rift CV1 and see if I could probably get the prop tracking going. And if I could, that'd be great. If not, that's fine, because my room is very small and I can only do so much with it. But that'd be really cool, because the reason why I say Rift CV1 is because I don't... fun fact, in Steam VR, when you go to SteamVR, right, there's a configuration file. You can have it, you can edit the code where you can have it where the headset will be set to false. Meaning, if you have, let's say, if I were to set up my cameras, basically, like my my Oculus CV1 cameras, right, I would not have to need my headset. I would literally, all I just need is the little tracking controllers, basically, and that's it. My Quest 2, I can't get that thing to work. It crashes so much. I don't know why. But I can get it working on the CV1 controllers, possibly, and we'll see, we'll see. I would love to have, like, some sort of, I don't know, something. I'll use Suvi's slime models as a test, though, but for other people, don't you want prop tracking? That'd be cool. And not even that, it doesn't have to be tracking props. It could even be, you can even track a camera or lights, even if you want. Basically, virtual production. That's the word I keep. That's the word I kept telling Suvi, or I kept asking her about. Because I was asking about, hey, if we could take a. Because that's the thing. That's Because I was asking Suvi, because there was this Unity camera app, by the way. This Unity camera app, that anyone could use, actually. And I mentioned to her, I talked to her, I said, hey, Suvi, have you ever heard about Camera VMC? And she was like, she got confused of what Camera VMC was at first, but then she took a, she then explained to me, because she took a look at the VMC, package thing, and she explained to me, like, what it does and all that. There were, of course, limitations, of course, but it's still, oh wait, I forgot to round it, oops, my bad. Let me go ahead and round this real quick. But it's still pretty cool. Because yes, Camera VMC does exist. It's just not used as much. Vtuber could implement Camera VMC though, but again, not many people use it. Therefore, it would kind of be sort of pretty useless, basically. But still, that's like something pretty cool. If only more programs support Camera VMC, that'd be really fun. But again, each program has their own VMC thingy, so it makes sense why it never exists. But at least they're gonna be, native cool stuff. And hopefully after the virtual production stuff for Vignon, that is hopefully, I'm hoping the OpenSea Face update will arrive. Or we get the media pipe hand tracking update. It's one or the other. It depends which one works first. So cross your fingers, everybody, on which one comes first. The media pipe hand tracking or the OpenSea Face thing. Whichever one. And also, by the way, I know for a fact, and I've mentioned this before, RTX tracking is now here for 3D models. However, Vignon plans on having, YouTube, shut up! Vignon plans on also having, RTX tracking as well. Because there's actually the source code for the RTX tracking, by the way. The RTX tracking for this one other program, Expression Bridge, that one utilizes VTube Studio's RTX tracking, as it was actually rushed. It was basically rushed for that program, but they do plan on making their own standalone program for other usages, basically. But that is still pretty cool, how RTX tracking is now available to 3D VTubers, since it was always a thing for 2D VTubers, but now it's for 3D VTubers, which is really nice. Of course, it's not a replacement for iPhone. I prefer iPhone tracking over RTX tracking, because iPhone is just more accurate, basically. The training data, the depth sensor, blah blah blah. It's mainly the training data, but yeah. I definitely look forward to more stuff about RTX tracking. And I hope they do get to a point where they update the SDK so that way it can actually bring tongue tracking, because it doesn't have tongue tracking yet. Like, you can't stick out your tongue, but that'd be really cool. But you wanna know why I found out, by the way? You wanna know why I found out, by the way, as well? So you know how there are some people, right, who have it where if you know iPhone does not have the tongue tracking like a Vive tracker, right? You see where I'm getting at? Hold on. Hear me out. So, so not everyone can use a Vibe Lip tracker, cause, okay. So, not everyone can use a Vibe Lip tracker, cause one, it's a little bit expensive, and two, you have to have it super close to your face. However, you wanna know what I found out? With Vignon's expression condition setup, you can have it so that way, let's say, for your default face, let's say you're not gonna do tongue tracking, right? Like, you're just having your normal mouth. You can have it where you can see your mouth shifting, and the tongue won't move. But when you stick out your tongue, right? You stick out your tongue like this, you can have it where in Vignon, the tongue can actually follow the mouth shifting. Like, you can have like an extra blend shape so that way the tongue can follow the mouth shifting when the tongue is actually out instead of the tongue always moving even with the tongue not out, if that makes sense. Basically, you can have a little bit more control of the tongue tracking and it'll be more accurate. And it's all thanks to Vignon's expression settings. And that's really cool. And if you want to, you could probably do a little bit more crazier stuff if you wish. But that's actually cool, though. That's something I wanted to do for my model whenever I update, but I wanted to let that idea out there because, oh boy, I've seen many people keep doing that where they have the tongue already moving with mouth shift by default, and it's like, I keep asking them, I kept saying, well, what if happens if you open your mouth and you shift your mouth like this? And then you see your tongue rotating and it doesn't make sense. But Vignon has it where it will make sense, so it doesn't look awkward. That's just me personally. I'm a little picky with my tracking sometimes. But that'd be really cool. I also want to do some more air kit jiggles though, but yeah. But yeah, that's the thing. I love Vignon. It's insane. That's why Vignon's my main program now. I'm sorry, VC Face. I love you so much. I'm still using VC Face for client stuff. But for the most part, Vignon is my primary. And, I already have a crazy ton of nodes set up, thanks to the community and all that. A crazy amount. I have a claw machine one, which was made by this one person. What's their name again? I had their name, Matt. It starts with an M. Hold on, I'm gonna pull up their name. Their name is Malictus. Malictus made the claw machine thingy, and then there's I have an air kit global reset, body rotation, constraint controller, arm sway, of course. I plan on actually remaking the arm sway because I'm using the one made by Heavy, but I want to make my own where it does individual sway. I haven't got to doing that yet, but I'm gonna make my own, and I will share it with everyone, don't worry, I'll share it, but that's something that I plan on doing. I know there's probably some other people who already probably made the individual one, but I'm gonna make it for myself. But I'll still have, I'll still share for everyone. But yeah, I can't go vanilla VC Face anymore either. I understand your pain. I understand your pain, Kilakuma, because VC Face. Okay, I love VC Face. I love beta testing for them and all that. It's fun. It's fun. Don't get me wrong. But it's like, we could do more with Vignon already. And it's like, we love VC Face, but we just can't go back to it, Like, I'm sorry, VC Face. And that's the thing I've already predicted. I said, oh, eventually there's gonna be the whole thing about the VC Face killer. Because Luppet, right? You remember when Luppet ended up dying because it was a paid program and nobody wanted to pay for it? But it was like the only choice back in the day, and now VC Face was like seen as the most powerful program. And now we see Vignon as the most powerful program. Of course, I will say there is a competitor program too. I don't mean it in like a rude way, but pretty much now we have the Vignon versus Waterdo debate. Now, that's the thing, that's why I don't want to come off rude, but Vignon and Waterdo, they're both powerful. Waterdo has their crazy animation system, Vignon has crazy nodes, Waterdo has blueprints, but also Vignon as well. They're kind of like brothers and sisters, basically. They do the same thing, but they're different, if that makes sense. Now, I personally, for me, I love both programs, but I just prefer Vignon just because of how bouncier the movements are. You could probably make Waterdo do the same thing as well, but I just like how Vignon is, personally. But yeah, step-sibling rivalry. Yes, exactly. But definitely, Also, I just realized my stream deck is asleep. There you are. Hello, stream deck. Hello. But yes. I definitely look forward to both Warudo and Vinyan. They're both free. They do pretty much similar stuff. I'll still beta test for both of them because I test for Warudo and I also test for Vinyan. I test both, but honestly, they're both good in their own way. It just depends on the person, to be honest. Like right now, Warudo pretty much has almost every type of tracking there, even an Xsense tracking as well, if anybody has an Xsense suit. So there's a lot of stuff you can do with the program. Vinyan is sort of pretty much catching up. So it's like this. Warudo is behind on the whole redeem stuff, also by Jacob. Warudo is behind on the whole redeem, Twitch, and interaction stuff. But Vinyan is behind on the tracking, if that makes sense. Oh, did I say that right? I think Warudo's behind on the redeems. Vinyan is behind on tracking. Pretty much. So it just kind of depends on, you know, what you prefer more. More tracking options or more redeem stuff. But they're both good. I'm pretty sure once they become more finalized and all that, definitely, I do feel already, I've already predicted there's going to be VTubers who are going to be probably making videos about the whole debating on Vinyan and Warudo, or maybe Vinyan versus BC Face and all that. Like, it's gonna happen, but honestly, I just say, enjoy your program. There's no need to fight. Enjoy your program. Love them. Cherish them. You can even use all the programs. Like, for me, I still use all the programs. Warudo is still nice for some animation stuff if I want it. Vinyan is great for being my main program. And then you got VC Face, great for client stuff, as it's just more easier to swap and create custom settings per client and all that. And, of course, most people still use VC Face, but swapping to Vinyan. And, yeah. Until, literally, okay. When Vinyan releases the profile update, we're doomed. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that, but okay, yes. Vinyan is going to release a profile update, so that can actually be pretty good for client stuff, but that's not coming for a while. Probably is going to come after the webcam update, but we'll see. We'll see what Suvi has in store, because she has magic hands. Magic hands, basically. Alright, yeah, this is kind of what I mean by I hate the whole nail stuff. For my model, I don't even have nails modeled on my character, because I just don't like nail modeling. I definitely will have to look up, practice and look up tutorials on how to practice nail modeling, but yeah. This is basically what it is. And yeah, it looks like this. So it looks perfectly fine here. It's just it looks weirdish on the normal solid view. Anyways, let's quickly do the toenails here and then Bato. Because I want to get to the El Bato model. Oh, El Bato. Like, I want to at least do some texturing stuff, basically. Get more caught up. But yeah. But yeah, there's definitely, you know, another thing as well, by the way. You want to know the number one question I've gotten a lot? You want to know the number one question I've always been getting a lot? How do you make environments for 3D? Okay, how do you make environments without being a 3D modeler? That's the question I've got. Now, I should have made this tutorial, but I didn't end up making it because I've been busy. But, I'm going to do my very best. Because there is this program. There's this program I recommend. What is happening to my hand? Suvi, please give me the new update. My mirroring hands are derping out. Anyways, there is a program that I've used back at... What are you doing, hand? Stop spinning. Thank you. Who added me on Discord? Sorry for the tag. What did I do? I've been following your tutorial on Eric and Blanche. I want to ask, how do you make the T-smile? Good question. I actually don't know. Make sure your... Hold on. Make sure your mouse funnel blend shape have the teeth together. Anyways, so there's a program called Sweet Home 3D. It's a program I used back in the old days, but it is still present to this day. Well, I don't know how to make your teeth smile. I can only recommend editing the weights on iFacial mocap, or because for me, I mess with mouse shrug, mouse funnel, and what was the other one again? Mouse shrug upper. Oh, shrug upper and lower. Shrug upper and lower I mess to get the T-smile effect. I have not bothered to make a tutorial on that because I actually have no clue how I got on my model, and also mine broke anyways because I have an iPhone 13 and all that, and ever since I swapped to iPhone 13 from an iPhone X, my mouth tracking was never the same. So yeah, that's exactly what happened. Alright. For me, I messed with and got the effect when I swapped to iPhone X to iPhone 13, my mouth tracking derped out, and I can hardly do T-smiles, so I need to check my blend shapes again and revisit to see how I achieve the effect. But yeah, that's all I can really say regarding the T-smile. It's those 3 blend shapes that are the culprit. Revisit. Yeah. That's all I can really recommend. Hey, Kana! After this, I have to tell you something. Why couldn't you just DM it to me? My nose. Alright. But anyways, so, either way, I plan on making a Sweet Home 3D tutorial, because here's the thing about Sweet Home 3D. Sweet Home 3D is a pain to use. Now, like, okay. Like, I've used it before, and I actually enjoy the program, but when you're starting it for the first time, you're going to hate it so much. But, eventually, you're going to end up liking it the more you use it, and that's what I plan on doing. Hold on. Of experimenting. Hold on a second. I can't give 100% answer, especially since it depends on the model's teeth. If your teeth are small, then it may not work, but if your teeth mesh are longer, then it may work. Alright. Yeah, because the thing about the T-smile... by the way, when it comes to the iPhone blend shapes, it depends on the model. Now, first and foremost, when it comes to your model, all I can say is you have to have long teeth to get the effect working good. If you don't have long teeth, or you don't have to have it super long, but you just have to have it long enough. If you don't have long enough teeth, it may not work as good. So, for example, Vroid models, technically it can work, but you're probably going to experience some issues where you want to make sure your top jaw, your top teeth don't move at all. But depending on how big you make the mouth, it may kind of clip and act a little weird. So for that case, you'll have to be careful and maybe make the teeth longer. But Vroid teeth are pretty big enough, so it should work. But I don't know, it just kind of depends. It'll take a lot of time to experiment. It depends on your style on the blend shapes and all that. Because some people prefer it where the... what was it? Some people prefer if the mouse is smaller or bigger, so it just depends. But yeah, anyway, back to the whole thing. I'm sorry, because someone was asking about the iPhone blend shape stuff. But back to the Sweet Home 3D thing. The Sweet Home 3D took me some time to learn it, and basically, I've said this many times where I recommend Sweet Home 3D for VTubers who want to make an environment, if they want to have it kind of like PMX and Vroid, having like it's a program that gives you the vibes of Vroid and PMX Editor, basically, if that makes sense. It's still complicated because you know how PMX Editor gets, for example, but once you learn it, you get used to it. But pretty much, Sweet Home 3D is definitely recommended if you want to get an environment. However, I never made a tutorial on it because I've been very busy. And I can understand why people were asking me for a tutorial on it, because the thing is that the existing tutorials on Sweet Home 3D, they look way too complicated. It feels a bit more like, I don't know, it gives you like, you know how companies feel soulless and not full of energy, if that makes sense? Yeah, I guess sort of like that. Whenever I approach those tutorials, it kind of feels a bit soulless, sort of? I don't know. I hope when I make my tutorial, I don't sound as soulless as possible. But I want to make it so that way, a tutorial on Sweet Home 3D to teach VTubers on making their own environments, understand the copyright of Sweet Home 3D, as the copyright on Sweet Home 3D is complicated, and also, as well, learning how to convert, you know, for other stuff. This will probably be a long tutorial, but I'm probably going to have it where there'll be a Sweet Home 3D dedicated tutorial, and then I'll have 2 other dedicated tutorials that shows how you convert a Sweet Home 3D environment to the tracking world and Vignette. As for water, though, I'm going to make... It'll probably be later in the summer when Waterdo is more developed. But I do plan on making official, like, an English tutorial for Waterdo, basically, so, yeah. Because I know my way with the blueprint, basically, so I can be able to help English users be able to translate the blueprints and all that. It's a little tricky still, but at least I still understand, like, how to make the eye jiggle, how do you set up blueprint for mocap, how do you adjust the mocap so the smoothness isn't too smooth and it's a lot more faster and all of that, so, yeah, basically. But yeah, let me just quickly take a look real fast. Yeah. Alright then, so let's go ahead and continue. But yeah, we pretty much got, I guess, hopefully the toenail's good. I don't know. Once again, I'm not really the best at mauling toes, basically. Like I said, I plan this summer to learn about anatomy, so hopefully when I model bodies better, I can model bodies better and all that, and all that crazy stuff. First now, I'm trying the best I can. I can make this blue real quickly, actually. I'm gonna make this a color blue, like... How blue did they say? They said it must follow the water. We're gonna copy this like that. There you go. Oh wait, this one. There you go. Yeah, I'll talk to her about it, but there's toenails, basically. Blue. Blue! Alright. Well, anyways, though, we finished, mauling that. That should have took, like, a few minutes, but it took a while. But yeah, there you go. At least I got the general mesh on the model done, basically, which is nice. I'll still talk to her about correcting the skirt here and correcting everything else, but hopefully, you know, I can get the mesh approved, then we get the texture stuff and all that stuff, and yeah, hopefully I can get to the point where it'll be rigged and all that, and she will be able to eventually, hopefully, debut the model and have fun with it, basically, and then I need to practice anatomy. But either way, we're gonna swap from this project to the next one. Smallbot. Hello, little Smallbot. How are you doing? Yeah, look how cute he is. Oh, and this is Yume's design. This is basically Yume's second son. So I made the intern bot, and the intern bot is, you can actually download it, by the way, fun fact. It's on my Bullroll account. But I have an intern bot that anyone can download. I do not allow editing or any extraction on the model. You can only use it with VSF Avatar, basically, and you cannot extract from the VSF Avatar file, so keep that in mind. This model, I don't know if I'm gonna redistribute it to other people. I don't know. It depends on what Coo-Dee says. That depends if Coo-Dee accepts the model and allows it, but that's up to them, really. But for this model, though, we're gonna have it, so basically, is going to have these colors, basically. So I'm going to basically focus on getting the raw colors. And after we get the raw colors, basically, I'm still confused about this thing. I kind of have an idea, actually, for it. So we're going to get the raw colors. And there's going to be some parts I'm going to add some gradients to. But anything like the rim lighting, like let's say here, I'm going to let the shader take care of that. But anything like, you know, there's a gradient sort of style here. And also here on the little bars here. You want to know the cool thing I want to do actually for this bot? You want to know what I'm going to do? For the little things here, I'm going to hide this. But these little guys here, I'm going to make it so that way these things can move around. So when you talk, these things are going to move around. So that's going to be really great. I'm going to do that. But yeah, it's here though. But anyways, we're going to get into UV mapping first because I did not UV map it. And we're going to get going with this basically. So, let me see. Let me start off. Yeah, so it's going to give me an error. Now, let me see. So, it's this part that needs a blue. So, that's pretty much what we have to UV seam. And once again, primarily this is like a plain color, like simple color basically. Just some gradients. It's nothing that complicated. So, we're going to mark the seam here to separate these parts. And boom, we'll have these. And then we're going to put them right here. Now, like I said, it can look like an ugly UV map, like this one's looking ugly, but as long as it looks... Actually, hold on, oh, that's right, I need to have it where the screen here is also UV mark seamed. That way, I can make it so that way this part can be black. Because the screen will be black, this one will be beige, and then the back will be blue. So I need to make sure I do that. Why is it being weird? There you go. Yeah, I should have just selected the face, but whatever. So we'll just mark seam, unwrap it, so they'll be in 3 parts now. So we do that. And basically, what we're gonna do next, now that we have those parts separated, the next thing we're gonna do is separate this part. So this top part here, there will be a UV seam here to separate, and then on the base here, we'll also have some separation as well. Therefore, these 3 will be separated. Is there thickness on this? Let me see this. So if I select length by seam, this will be that part. And then if I go by faces and I select this part, then we have this individual part. I know, looks weird. Actually, no, we do need this to be done in a specific way. That way we can have it so it can have the gradient. So that's why it needs to have this. There you go. Well, okay. Not exactly what I'm thinking, but... That's actually kind of odd, actually. If I take this, right, I UV map it, it's gonna do that. Can I have it where I UV square it? Something is wrong. It's like, this part, I don't know, something being a little weird about this part. Maybe if I should have a second one, maybe it might work. But I want to... we'll see. Okay, so mark seam. Select it. UV map it. There you go. Okay, that's better. Yeah, so we'll do that. And pretty much here, let's select this. Let me see, what is this selection? So that will be that base, basically, and then this part is just that, which, let me see. Well, it's connected like this, basically. Actually, this should have been connected, like these 2 together, but I'm not sure why it's like that. That's weird, but whatever. Alright then, so we're just gonna unwrap it, and then just go from there, basically. So... we're gonna go put this in the corner here. Like that. Whoa, okay. I'm gonna make this so that way the texture is 4K resolution. And that's the thing that I learned, by the way. If you're trying to make it so that way, let's say you're texturing a model, right? And let's just say, for example, when you texture, everything looks way too grainy and all that. The reason why your model's texture probably look grainy is probably because you are not using a 4K texture. It's recommended. Now, don't use too many 4K textures, by the way. Don't use too much, because that would actually make your model more unoptimized. So, let's say you're gonna go on VR chat, right? Now, I'm not a VR chat person, but, I will say, for VR chat, you would not want to really use 4K textures, like, on multiple materials and all that. You would probably want to outlast your textures. Now, this really just depends. If you're a simple colored model, then you could probably get away with, like, a lower resolution colors, basically. But if by any chance you are, like, let's say soft shaded or more detailed, basically, then yeah, it's understandable that you would probably need the 4K texture. But it's either you outlast it or have less textures, basically. But for me, I don't care. I have way too many textures, and I don't use it for VR chat. I primarily use my model for VTubing or whatever animation stuff, basically, so I don't care, basically. But it is still important for me to learn optimization, in case, let's say, for example, if, let's say, I work in the game industry, right, and I want to make models for a game, pretty much for that case, yeah, I would need to learn optimization. Very important. Also, I need to set so the margins are more bigger on this one. There you go. Because, like, they're the same color, but some of them need, like, some gradients and all that. I could probably just set this myself. But yeah. Just as something to keep in mind about, it depends on what part of the 3D industry you probably may go into, but again, just depends. For the most part, if you're trying to make VTuber models, usually it depends. Like, I have many times where I work on models, and even though I try to make it optimized, I would have VTubers saying that they don't care about optimization. You know, they just want it to work. So yeah, with VTuber models, you may not necessarily need to be optimized, but it's still recommended though, because let's say if a person has a potato PC, you still want to make sure their models are still optimized and all that, so yeah, keep that in mind. I also try to keep that in mind too with other VTubers I work with, and I even tell them, I say, hey, just make sure that if you want this certain thing, you might want to be careful, since basically it may add more resources, like it may add more stress to your PC, basically. And I make sure to let them know, and if they're okay with it, then yeah, we just work it out, basically. Alright. You know, little butt. Alright. And luckily with robot rigging, by the way, and I wish I tried modeling robots sooner, but modeling robots is really good practice for modeling. Like, it's really nice because it's more easier to model, basically. It depends on the robot. There's complicated robots, but robots like these, like Yumi's robot designs, they're really fun to work with. And just more simpler, basically. Like, they're more easier to do. And great for practicing. Like, it's good for confidence stuff. But, of course, if you want to get more complicated with modeling, then yeah, you might want to go for a more complicated design. Probably, like, making your own Hatsune Miku model. You know what? Here's the thing. If you can make your own 3D Hatsune Miku model, that means you know everything about 3D. If you can make your own model. That's basically, you know, it's called the Miku tax. Where if you really are a true artist, you have to make a Miku. But you don't have to. Some people don't even know who Miku is. Even though Miku's popular, not everyone knows it. As long as you do you, basically. But yeah, I'll just say, practice-wise, if you want to really, I guess, be more advanced with anime models, I guess, if you can make your own Miku model, you're good. But that depends. We're all different. Alright. So now the next thing is these fricks. Oh no. Blah. Spectra, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. Thank you. I hope I pronounced your name right. Thank you. Yeah. Alright. Let me double check though. Why is my Twitch open? Whoops, I did not meant to freaking reload the thing. Oops. Okay. What was the thing I was trying to look? Oh yeah, that's right. This thing. Oh yeah, by the way, I don't know if anybody knows this, but have you ever heard of Super SMG4? I'm sure that's his name. I actually am really excited to watch the whole SMG4 movie tomorrow. I don't know if it's like a movie, we'll see, but that'd be really interesting. I can't wait. But yeah, I just wondered, because their quality on the rendering definitely looks really, like, much better. Like, they improved it, at least on the realistic sort of style. Like, not realistic, like hyper-realism, but more of, like, that realistic toon design. It looks real nice. And that's the thing also, by the way, once again, with 3D, it depends on, there's many paths that you can go when it comes to 3D stuff. You can be hyper realistic. You could be toon style but realistic, like source filmmaker peeps. You could be fully toon shaded. You can look like 2.5D models. You can actually like look purely to I don't know how to 100% use Dr. Bomb's RTX tracking. So, oh my god, that's what's inside of a Rococo glove? Ew. Oh god. Oh my god, now I see what's the inside of a Rococo glove. Well, that thing traumatized me on the inside. Anyways. With that being said, that's pretty pog. Anyways, so at least we got that. Wait, do I have to... I'm not too sure about this part. Let me try this. I'm trying to make this so that way it's all done in all-in-one texture. Yeah, once again, I don't care about the UVs. They're primarily going to be plain colors, and then the shader does all the work, basically. Shader gonna do all the work. Yeah. Well, kinda, not really. The textures would pretty much do majority of the work, but you get what I mean, basically. Sort of. Yeah, because it's starting to slowly get cramped. I might need a second texture then. Like, you'll have the body, but then the mouse and the shoes will have their own stuff, basically. So we could do that. It's definitely going to be split here. I have a little indent here. So that way it can split it color-wise. Because the colors are... Okay. The colors... Okay, they're gonna have an outline mesh. Although, I'm gonna still texture out that part. Maybe. I'll see how it looks. I'll see. Oh, that's right. This little frick right here, actually I can just do this. Not clear seam, just mark it. And then unwrap it for me. Yeah, because it's primarily plain on the mouse. And then you just see the rim light, basically. The rim light, basically, simple. And same thing, like, I'm trying to keep in mind how I made the false ID bot, or the intern bot, basically. Pretty much, I did the same thing. It was primarily the model is just texture based. It didn't need any special shaders. Same with this model. This model, honestly, with how I'm going to approach it, it does not need any special shaders. The only reason for why I converted the models to VSF avatar is just to protect the models, but that's about it. They don't need any special shading. Now for this bot though, like I said, I did say I wanted to make like a particle shader for the legs, but because of the nature of the particle shader, and that I can't 100% constrain the direction, there's probably some Unity add-ons that'll let me do that, but because there's this one Unity add-on in particular, I wanted to ask Suvi if she could add it, because this add-on's actually pretty cool. but I don't remember its name. It's an old add-on, but it's really good if you're trying to add, like, camera constraints to objects and stuff. Or something like that. It's like Vinyan's prop system, sort of, where you can have the prop focus on the camera, but constraint. I don't know. I'll ask Suvi, actually. Now that I think about it, because she implemented that. I need to ask about that. I gotta see if she could do that. Then that could be something pretty cool for future malls I could do. Huh. Interesting. I'll see. Because I brought her the idea up with the hammer thing and she made it happen. So I'm wondering if maybe we could do something like that with mouse. Like that Blender add-on. That Blender add-on I never got to buy because I was too busy to learn it. But it's an add-on I've always wanted to test out. It utilizes lattices though. But Unity is done differently. So we'll see. We'll see. But of course, there's also the mesh way of doing it. I know the mesh way of doing it is a bit weird. I don't know. Like, I've been debating about this one mesh. It's basically the back-culling mouth structure. So there's a simplified way, and then there's a crazy way of doing it. I have not made a tutorial on it, because I do not... I might make a tutorial on that structure, perhaps. I don't know. I just gotta, like, play with it. I know there's models. I know which models have that structure, but it's like... I gotta see, like, do I really want to do that? Because it could be a little ridiculous. I don't know. Because there's a camera way of it, then there's a mesh way, then back and all the other weird stuff. And it looks... If you're trying to, like, do realism on your model, by the way, like, let's say you import your VR model to Valheim, that one game with the mods, yeah, it's gonna look real ugly. So please don't do that. That's just because back-culling, if you try that mouse method, but, yeah. But it's still nice if you want to get that more anime effect, basically, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, the shoes are plain color, except this part. I mean, there's gradients and all that, but we'll see. I thought I had these separate mesh, though. Huh, they're really joined together? I thought they were separate. I thought it would just make the UV mapping easier. I guess not. I could just do this, though. I could just commit this and it won't cry. You better not cry, because this will make my life much easier if you don't cry about this UV seam I'm doing, Blender. You little frick. Wee. But yeah, it's still interesting about what you could do with Unity and all that. Very interesting. Okay, a little shoe. I'm going to unwrap the thing, or mark a theme, and then do whatever the frick. There you go. See, I'm actually glad that I've mastered UV mapping, because I remember when I was younger, I suffered so much with UV mapping. I got so scared of it, and I was even scared of weight painting as well. But now I'm like a complete addict when it comes to rigging. Like, if I can get a model to the rigging stage, I get so happy because I'm like, I can't wait to rig and all that. For my model, I also am excited to rig my blend shapes again. But the thing also, I have to also do some other stuff as well. Oh boy, I have to do this giant list of stuff. Have to merge all my meshes and wait. Oh no, I have to make an outline control, then edit my blend shape, then create a lerp texture for my friend's shader, then a blush texture map for my friend's shader, if they can get me that update on the stencils. Then make the white on my outfit less bright and just slightly not as bright. And then make new eye toggles. Then redo the actually the snowflake texture. Fizzy did that for me, so thank you, Fizzy. And then play the shadows so they're slightly softer. Because my shadows are harsher, but it would be nice if they're slightly soft. I'm kind of going for that more modern. I'm going for that modern styled 90s style, like Sailor Moon Crystal. No, not that one. What was it again? Sailor Moon. It was Crystal something, right? Let me see. Hold on a second. Was it Crystal? Yeah. Yeah, it is Sailor Moon Crystal. That's the style I'm going for, basically, now. I was trying to go for the original 90s Sailor Moon style on the model, but then I got told it looked you know, it was a bad idea to really replicate it, so go for something more modernized. And I basically went for something more modernized, and I'm going for that Sailor Moon crystal look because it's modern, it looks pretty, and I like it. Cause there's I don't know, cause there's like the one where it looks a little weird on the face, and then the other one that looks more prettier. I don't know how to describe it. There's a crystal, and then I think crystal recap or something, if I can recall. But yeah, I like if that is, wait, is it? No, not that. It's confusing. I don't know. They're all called crystals, and they're different pictures of her. I don't know. I already made a tweet about it, and I showed the picture of my eye. You'll get the point. Maybe not, but that's fine. Either way, I'm just going for that more modern styled 90s, basically. It's not really 90s, it's more of 2000s look, but yeah, that's the look I'm going for, basically. And honestly, it feels pretty on me. I still love the 90s look, but I like the look I am going for. It's just, I don't know, it just feels nice. It's like soft shaded, but also plain color at the same time, like a mixture. Because I like that plain color look, like the way you arrange the plain colors. I mean, that's just anime in general. That's the thing about anime you have to keep in mind. If you're trying to look more 2D, like if you really want to look like an anime character from an anime show, don't put too much shading on your characters, if that makes sense. It depends on the anime, because there are some animes where they have so much shading to it and it looks gorgeous. So if you're trying to go for that, sure. But if you're trying to go, let's say you're trying to copy Kobayashi's Dragon Maid style, don't put so much detail on the models. It's primarily just plain colors arranged properly, if that makes sense. It just depends. There's so many different styles with 2D. They're soft shaded, which I technically call it enchanting shaded, depending on the anime design. Because sometimes, like when you're going for that soft shade look, it makes you look more beautiful. I guess like more like you want to stare at it because there's so many details happening. Basically, for my model, I try to keep it more simple. Basically, but yeah, so many stuff. Let's see. Hold on a second. Let me grab this guy. So yeah, I'm going to select these guys, and then I'm going to move it upward. These could just be like simple colors. Actually that's much more convenient to do if I snap the grid here. But yeah, so we'll do that. And then the mouse here, so it'll be two separate textures. One will be the body, and then this other one is going to be for, like, the arms and legs, basically. That's what this will be for. Of course, you know, this will still have it, but yeah. I'll see what I can do about getting leg tracking for this bot, though. I'm not 100% sure. I think I could, maybe. Like, this could be the body, but then this will be, like, the upper leg. Sort of, like, this is upper, and it's, like, short legs. I don't know. It's gonna probably be weird on VC face, but if let's say you're doing VR tracking with the robot, for instance. Like, full body tracking. Whenever I make, character models, I try to make it so it works on full body tracking, even if it's a robot or an animal. Well, it depends. Like, Mr. Fluffy Canary, for instance, by the way, this model version right here can technically work on full body tracking, actually, the way I rigged it. However, when Mr. Fluffy Canary gets re-rigged, I'll see. Maybe I could make him compatible for full body tracking, but it will not be used. Just for extras. I'm the type of person that likes to model with extras. That's just me personally. I just like being extra, basically. Yay! Anyways. Also, we've been streaming for 2 hours, though. I want to at least get the base colors, and then, cause it's starting to get a little bit late for me, though, but not now. Ooh, very soon. I'm just giving a heads up. Warning. And then, okay, so... And yeah, I'm not gonna apply the modifiers quite yet. Not yet. Also, this thing could just be unwrapped, and it's just I could actually add a matte cap for this, by the way. I could do that. Maybe Maybe I'll think about it. I will think about it. But I might do a matte cap, like a soft matte cap, nothing like too crazy or anything, like nothing realistic. Just something nice and soft. Soft and pretty. Yay. Alright. What the frick? Get the shoe out. Oh yeah, that's right, didn't I say that? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, then I'll just make a separate file, I guess. Whatever. Let me just name this texture though so I don't forget. Alright then, so let me just remove this to-do list, and yeah. But this should be simple though, because at least the expression-wise, there's only these expressions, and it's simple on the face. Like, I don't really have to do so much with it, which is a good thing. But yeah. But for these though, there's gonna be, yeah, they say text and mood, so there'll be 4 emotes basically on the model. There'll be the lip sync, and of course, I'm not sure how I'm gonna do the blinking actually. That's a good question. How will I do the blinking? Because the intern bot I made, it was more smoother because of how the eyeballs were. I treated it like a live tube model, but for these eyes, I could do one of 2 things. One, it could be mesh-based in like a really weird way. Or 2, I could just use material blend shapes and save my life. Probably material blend shape will probably be better on me. Might do that instead, because I think material blend shape will just be more flexible. That's kind of, no, the intern bot did not use material blend shapes. Actually, no, it did. It technically did with the propeller and all that. But for this model, it might need it for the face. The emotes still, I will say the emotes, I can make those vertex based, but the blinking might have to be, material blend shape. We'll see. We'll see. I'll have to think about it. But I'm gonna assume that's going to be the case. Right. So anyways, though, let's see. So, okay, I forgot to deselect that. Do not select that. Okay, so pretty much we're gonna stick with the body. So this is the body here, and we're gonna texture this one first. So we're going to make 2 materials for now. The other, I will worry about the modeling the expressions later, but we're gonna do this. So we're gonna start off with making this. We're gonna call this Robot 1. We'll start simple. I'll rename these later, perhaps. But we're gonna name it Robot 2 for the textures, or the materials. So, arms and legs are going to be 1 material here. And then, this one's going to be Robot 2. I mean, Robot 1, at least my brain knows what to do. But yeah, also there's that one too. So we're gonna have this screen. So this will be a separate texture for now. Or, yeah, it'll be separate for now. But until I'll set up the material stuff later. But for now, it'll be temporary. But yeah, so we're gonna do that. And it should be simple. It's simple to color, basically. And this could be actually good practice. This could be a good thing to talk about, though. And it's about, like, the whole, mastery study. Yes, I don't know. I want to make, like, some sort of video, something about mastery studies. Like, basically, how can you sort of replicate, I don't know. It depends. It's hard to explain, because it depends on the models per case, basically, and all that. Depends. I don't know. I'll think about it. Maybe not. I probably would rather just make a heck ton of speed videos or all that, and it's up to the person to interpolate what the heck I did. Because I can't, because I can only teach as much as I can, basically, but, you know. I still want to make more tutorials, but I can only do as much as I can, teaching-wise. Okay, so we're gonna do that. I'm going to make sure they're all selected. Yeah, so it's selected in here, basically. And we're going to begin the texture paint. So we're gonna set this mode to shadeless. I'll put the outlines in a bit, but we're going to set up emission for a more tuned shader. I could use Coo-Dee or my friend shader, but I'll start with emission just to keep things simple. It depends. If I want to do something advanced like how my model is, where my model has to have real-time shadows inside Blender, then yeah, I would use my friend's shader. But if, let's say I'm using a VTuber, let's say I'm making a model for a VTuber, right? And they want to have the advanced shadows like my model, but they want to use it for commercial use, which obviously if you're VTubing, you're going to use it for commercial use regardless. I would use Coo-Dee to, not my friend's shader, because my friend's shader does not allow commercial use, basically. I hope eventually it gets to a point where there'll be commercial rights to the shader and all that, but for now, no. Not yet. Probably will not be for a long time. But yeah. But either way. But yeah, I'm not sure. Should I have this set to emission? Can I? Yes, I can. Great. So for this one, we want to set, so it's Robot 1 on the texture, and we're going to set it so that way this will be a 4K image. And then we're going to set so the color is set to white. And it'll be more brighter. And then we'll set this one so it's set to screen. Alright, so now that we have that, actually, hold on, well, the texture should be there. No, it's not? Okay, whatever. So let me just hide that just so it doesn't distract me. But we're gonna go ahead and, let me just select these so we can begin with coloring so I can actually see the difference, basically. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up Robot 1 and we're going to begin the coloring, basically. So we're going to start off with color picking. This is basically how you replicate the colors on a 2D image to 3D model. You start with color picking on your model. So first you make sure the mesh is, of course, exactly how it is on the reference sheet, basically. But in order to replicate the colors, you do this. So for this case, I want to set so the fallout is set to sharp, and this will set to space, and then set the radius to be a little high. Actually, we'll see. So I need to find the back part. The back part is the blue, and this part, no, not this part. This part is the blue. So we're gonna start with coloring this part first. Like that. Alright, then the next step is, of course, well, the back part, and we just go from there, basically. Make it beige. And then copy the black. Or sort of blue. It's like, it's not completely black, it's like dark blue, basically. So we copy that. There we go. Yes, he's still orange. And then we're going to replicate the eye color, which I'm gonna choose. I gotta find. Hold on a second. I gotta get a little closer so I can get the. The one I assume is the base color. I'll choose this one, honestly, and I'll edit later. 1 second. Wait. I didn't press my button too quickly, but yeah, my mother came by. Hope you didn't hurt her. But yeah, anyways. Alright, let me quickly check. Just mark as finish, alright. 1 second. Cause I was just checking real quickly. Okay, hold on a second then. So, let's go ahead. This should be these. Oh, these are bright. These are really bright. It's fine. I'll plan to add some darkness to it, so that way it's not going to be as bright, but for now, it is going to be pretty bright. But they'll be darkness here, basically. The darkness! The darkness! Okay. Now we just have to... I can just copy the beige on top. And copy it here. Like so. And then... there you go. There you go, I corrected that. Alright. We're good then. Anyways. So now that we got that, now we can get going with the shoes and the arms and legs, basically. So now we're going to need another texture, basically. So we're going to have an image texture, name this new robot 2. And we're going to say yes. And then we're going to color accordingly as well. So we're going to go into robot 2 and begin coloring, basically. So we're going to start off with... I could actually copy the colors from here, actually, to make sure that they're the same throughout the model, but it's pretty simple of colors. So this one, I'm going to assume it's this one that is the blue. Nope, that's not the right one. Might be this one. There you go. This one's the right color. Or this one's the right place. And then we got beige right here. This one has to be beige. And then this one is going to be a light blue. This one is the same color as the eyes, basically, and the face. So we'll color that. Very bright, shield your eyes. Alright. And then we have the mouse here. So the mouse should be simple. Alright, so blue. Is it this one? Nope. It's this one. Right here. Alright. He's already looking cute already! Aww! And then we have beige. Okay. There you are. There you are! You're looking good! And then we have, of course, the green. I'm assuming they're the same color, just different gradients. Like, base color-wise, they're the same, but shading-wise, not so much. A little different. Yeah. So bright for my freaking eyes! Now it's the boots here that they have, like, a different color. And I'm gonna say it's this one here. And we're going to make it blue. Blue, blue, blue. There you go. Good little butt. And then we have the inner boots here, which I can make that the same color as this one, because basically this is just to hide any weirdness from the inside boot, basically. That's all it is for. Alright. It's not the best, but yeah. Anyway, look, a bot. And then, last but not least, save it, of course, but that's not what I'm talking about. One moment. Let me just, oh, is it get the screen? Yeah, so this is the screen, but it's supposed to be in the it's supposed to be the same color as this one, but faded. So, what we're going to need, this one's going to probably be a little different, because I can't just use Mtoon in Blender, and I don't have Coo-Dee, well, I have Coo-Dee Toon, I just don't want to spend so much time on it right now. For this one, though, I would probably say we can have a texture for it, of course. I can't color pick, that's an issue Blender has. But, because I can set this so that way this is a blend. How about, hold on, let me take a look. Yeah, it's set to alpha on the mesh itself. But if I go to shader editor, it's gonna look like this, basically. And I can't do this, right? Yeah, no, it's not, because that's not the alpha thing, that's just the emission strengths, basically. That's what make it glow, so I would probably just stick with the standard one, I guess. Standard BSDF. And just have a texture for it, really. That's about it. Texture. Or screen. And then, just so I can have it see-through. But on the final model, it will have Mtoon as a shader, basically. Alpha. I set all the other stuff here. It's not going to be detected in shadeless, though. It'll be detected here, which kind of sucks. Let me see. I think we'll... What was it? What was it again? Oh yeah, that's right, the texture. I need to get that, frick. It's basically... What was the base color for the face? This color. So I'm gonna go here, here, and we're gonna set it so it's that color. But we have to make it so it's semi-alpha. Also, why did I set it to there? Oh yeah, that's right, but we're gonna do it differently. And we're going to erase some alpha, so if I did this, then it'll be see-through. But we want it so that way it's partial, like this. Like this. Not a little too much. This one. Close enough. Not exactly. I think that's what we're going for. Yeah, see, look, that's what I'm talking about. That. There is a glass there, and basically it's going to be very grainy. Let me see if I can disable that. Like, I know there's a way of disabling it, but it's a little weird. Let's see, blend-wise? Yeah, because if it's glass on glass, it's gonna look weird, but this is as smooth as I can get, basically. And then on tune, yeah, or shadeless, it's gonna do that. But yeah, pretty much, though, at least you can basically see, like, there's a glass, though, and of course you can add some shine to it, so I can add a specular if I want. Like, a bit of specular here. But of course, I would probably like make its own matte cap for it instead, like its own like fake specular, basically, or fake shine. I also want it so that way these legs, by the way, glow. So we're gonna do that. So we're gonna have it so that way we're gonna copy the material over to here, and we're gonna set this to robot glow. This is the same way I have it with the intern bot where there was a glow. That way this allows me also. For some reason this is on Principal BSDS. I forgot to change it to emission. So set it to texture, set this to robot 2. And this should be the same thing as this one, so I can make it glow basically. So we want it to basically glow. This one will be assigned here. But for some reason it's not glowing. I think I might know why. It's because this one probably doesn't have the bloom on, and then I have to adjust the intensity, perhaps. Yeah, I see that. I see that happening. Just to kind of like make sure it works properly, that's all. So we're gonna go and remove that. No, it's not glowing as much. Odd. I don't want to make it glow too much. I mean, it should work though. That I'm just gonna put my trust into it, that's all. That it'll glow. If not, that's fine. Yeah, it's just so weird that it doesn't want to glow. It's the texture that doesn't want to glow. Alright, there are other stuff. Let me just set up some other stuff as well. Real quickly, behind my model. Real quickly. Set not the film to transparency, but I do want to set the color to standard so it looks nicer, and then medium contrast. And simplify. And yeah. Basically that. And of course that's off. I think it's, oh yeah, it does it sort of here. Oh, yep, yeah, there you go. You can actually see it glowing. Oh, the reference image was hiding it. The reference image was hiding the glow. No wonder why it wasn't working. But you see the effect I was going for, basically. Pretty cool, huh? It's T-posing. Anyways, maybe that's a little too bright, though. I would decrease that if I were me. Because some people have, you know... Well, first of all, one, you don't want to be too bright, because you want to be able to stare at the character for a long time, and you don't want your eyes to feel strained, basically. It's something I also get as well, because, like, my eyes can be weak, sometimes. Like, because my eyes, like, sometimes I can be a bit light sensitive, if that makes sense, sort of. I don't know if it makes sense, but there could be some people who are more sensitive to light than others, if that makes sense. So yeah, I have to make sure to keep in mind about that. But let me quickly reset my face tracking real quick. Hold on. There you go. Alright then. Alright, so now that we got that, at least this looks much better. and then put that to timeline. Yeah, at least we got that going. Yeah, look at that, really nice. And now the next thing I want to do also is I want to, actually I could also set it so this part can also glow as well. So have it like, I could have it so it glows. I don't know if I like that. I think I would just leave it so the legs only glow, but yeah. But anyways, what I also want to do as well is I want to quickly add some outlines real quick so I can kind of see it a little bit better. Okay. Maybe not a little that thin. But let's see. Yeah, so 0.03 is what we're looking for, right? I would say 0.02. Let me see, how thick are the outlines? Actually, they're more thinner than that. Let's try 1. Yeah, there you go. That's much better. So let me just go ahead and set the outlines for all of these peeps. We're not gonna set it for the inside part. No, I would not put outlines on these guys here. In fact, what I personally would do is that when I get to adding some soft shaded stuff, I'll retexture these so that way it'll have it so there's the green outline here, and then inside would be like dark, if that makes sense. But for now, this is fine. Oh my god. Anyways, yeah, we could do that. Gonna add an outline here. And I would not also add outlines to these guys either. I would rather just let the texture take control of that, basically. But yeah. This one may need more thicker outlines, though. This part here. What the frick? Oh, that's the wrong, that's not the outline controller. This is the outline controller. Whoops, a little too thick. Maybe make this solidify not as freaking big. There you go, just so the outline can basically fit. Yeah. And, this one needs to be thicker as well. Like, I see the outline, but it needs to be thicker. Maybe not too thick. Yeah, like that's good. This one, same thing too. Yo, that's good. That is good. Alright. There you go. That looks much better. Yeah! Okay. Alright. Look how more tune it's getting. I mean, yeah, still look realistic with the freaking bloom effect, but that's just the model. Don't judge it. But, yeah, pretty much. Also, here, let me make this a little bit not as, not... Hold on. That's a little too much. I meant 05. And then maybe I'll move this higher. Yeah, like that. That's much better. Alright then. Well, there goes the bot. It has the base colors. I'll have to, of course, smooth shade the textures and stuff so it looks much more nicer. But you can basically see how it looks like it looks close to the original reference sheet, basically. Of course, not exactly, as I do want to add some more stuff, basically. Like, some of these outline details I want to try and texture it myself on the actual mesh. Like, here, it looks plain on the corners, but this one has a detail, so I'm going to do that. And once I, actually, I'll do that after I get the gradient, so I'll make sure to paint the blue, like the soft light here, and same with the eyes, so that way there's some darkness to balance out the bright eyes. Same thing here where there's supposed to be a shine and all that, and yeah, and rim laying, that comes later, but I just wanted to at least get the general colors, and it looks real good, and I'm really happy about it. But let me go ahead before anything. I need to save the other picture of the screen as well. And then I could probably like squish the screen onto the second texture that's the first texture it needs to be on. I'll see. But yeah, overall there goes the Elbot. Yeah. I look forward to hopefully finishing this though, but either way though, oh, my brain hurts. I don't know why it just does. But yeah, either way though, I hope you guys, this should be pretty much it for the stream, because I do, it's starting to get late. I do want to take some rest time, and also give myself some time, hopefully later tonight, to maybe record a quick Vinyan tutorial. And then tomorrow, I'll try to see if I can get, because I have not gotten time this week to get the Sweet Home 3D tutorial, and I'll probably need more time to do it, but I'll try to see if I can get some quick Vinyan tutorials to at least help Vinyan users, do a bit more stuff with Vinyan, basically. I'm debating, actually, I might make a tutorial on how to do the movement, like how to set up the movement controls for Vinyan, and then, what's the other thing I wanted to do a tutorial on? Let's see, I'm thinking about the avatar swap, like how to swap avatars in Vinyan, or make a avatar swap redeem, and then an avatar movement. I don't know, maybe I'll stick with like one tutorial for tomorrow, and then try to work on the Sweet Home 3D tutorials to help out with environment stuff, because I do want to get a bit of some environment tutorials going on. I've always been wanting that, but like I said, busy. But either way, I want to thank you guys again for watching and supporting what I do and such. I hope to do more streams like this, where I basically show like behind the scenes modeling, like how I'm able to basically make something look more toon style, if that makes sense, and yada yada yada. And hopefully, in the future though, once I do hopefully get more commissions done, I can definitely do more, not only streams with modeling, but I can do some speed modeling, and many other stuff, basically, But either way, thank you guys again, for your support and everything. Just a reminder, I stream on, Twitch Mondays, if you want to see anything gaming related, or maybe an extra workshop stream there, but usually it's gaming. And if you want to see another YouTube stream like this, it's going to come next Friday. Every Friday is basically a workshop stream, and then on Saturdays, I usually, pretty much for the most part, depends. Saturdays I post a tutorial. If not, then it's usually Sundays I would post a tutorial on and such. It depends on, if I'm able to make it or not, but either way, I hope you guys have a lovely day. Heike, 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 sayonara everyone. I hope to see you guys next time, okay? Bye-bye!